Plaintiff Christopher Jones was married to the defendant, and they have a child together. Christopher claims the defendant keeps their daughter from him because she doesn't like his new girlfriend, and he filed a restraining order against her after she harassed him. Christopher suing because the defendant vandalized his car. Defendant Tykeisha Parrish says while dating Christopher, he cheated on her and had 5 children with another woman. Tykeisha claims after their divorce, she had Christopher arrested after he broke her car window, and she's countersuing for child support and a bank fee.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
We were married in March 2012. We divorced earlier this year, February. We got a daughter together. She don't let me see my daughter because I have a girlfriend. And I have my girlfriend around my daughter.
Which we had a verbal agreement.
She's been miserable about the whole situation. She keeping my daughter from me because I have a girlfriend.
No, because he had a girlfriend. I didn't know he had a girlfriend, but we were still sleeping together, and we both had a verbal agreement that we would not bring our child around anybody if we're seeing somebody else, unless we agree to it. He never told me nothing about him having a girlfriend. He was getting our child and told me that.
Did you all agree to that?
If we're divorced, why do I have to tell you? If I have rights.
We were still sleeping with each other.
It's in the agreement that, and it's in the divorce agreement that I have visitation rights. Why do I have to tell her anything?
Well, she said you all made an agreement together. That's why.
No, I don't recall on that.
Okay, well, that's why. All right. He has given me his background. Why don't you tell me what happened to the marriage?
He's been cheating and lying. He had 5 kids within our relationship.
While you all were together?
No.
While we were together. We dated on and off for the past 15 years. And he had 5 kids with another woman. I know I should have left him, but I didn't. And
all with the same woman?
Yes. But he lied about that.
We weren't even
that's
married
a whole
then,
nother story. We weren't married when that
Go
worked.
ahead, man.
But,
I just wanted to make sure he wasn't the type of guy that was just going around making babies with a bunch of different women.
No, since we broken up, he done lived with 4 different women.
No.
And
I hope he's not having children by him.
No, but
all right.
We got married in 2012, Your Honor.
Yeah.
I already had the 5 kids before we got married.
You're right.
Okay.
So what does that have
so
to
mad
do with
about
the
him
marriage?
dating other women now?
I don't care about you dating other women, but we did have a verbal agreement that we weren't going to bring our child around nobody because we were still sleeping with each other when I found out he had a girlfriend.
No.
Why'd you all divorce if you were sleeping together?
Well, it didn't work out. It just didn't work out.
The sleeping together part.
No, us being together.
That part worked.
That part worked out. Yeah.
No.
All right, well, maybe you all should have spent more time in bed than in society. You said that's the only time it worked. Okay, sir, you tell me about these car damages you're suing her for.
Okay, I came out on September 11th to go to work, and I realized my car had been vandalized. I had profanity on the hood. I have the photos.
You had what?
Profanity on the hood.
Okay, let's see it.
I had the photos.
What does it say?
It says
I'll
UB.
look. And why do you think she did it?
I don't have problems with anybody else.
Yes, you do.
Be quiet, ma'am. Had you recently had a problem with her?
Yes, that's why I have an order of protection.
What was the recent? You have an order of protection? Yes. Let's see that. Why did you have to get an order of protection?
Because she came to my girlfriend's house and made screaming and banging on the door.
Saying what? About what?
He know what it's about. I'll tell you what it's about.
Just
he broke my window.
No, you wouldn't answer.
He broke my window, and I was texting.
Where? When?
He came to my house. Me and him got into an altercation. I was in my car with my daughter. He punched the window and broke it. He told me he was going to pay for it, and he didn't. So I was calling and texting him, no response for days and weeks. And then, maybe like a week or 2, no response. And then my daughter showed me where the female lived. We driving. She said, this is the way daddy took me to the girl house. So she showed me where she lived at. And I said, oh, perfect. I see his car. So I went and knocked on the door. And I said, is Chris here? She said, yes. I said, can you tell him to come outside? He came outside. I said, you been ignoring me. You owe me some money or whatever for my window. He started yelling, screaming. I called the police, pressed charges, and had him put in jail.
For what?
For breaking my window. They said, I want to press charges. I said, yes. So I had him put in jail. And that's when he went and got an order of protection on me. But when he was arrested, they automatically did an order of protection for me and him when I pressed charges.
Sir?
So-
What do you say to this arrest?
I told him I didn't break the window.
Did you?
Yes, I broke the window because she hit. I'm not gonna say I didn't break the window, but I only broke the window because she damaged the back of my car.
No,
She's not telling the whole
When did
story,
that
Your Honor.
happen?
This happened in April. She hit the back of my car.
Where were you all and why did she do it?
I think we're in Cicero somewhere.
And just, she was following you?
Yes. Following me.
You have to talk and
Yes,
tell
she was
me what
following-
happened,
Yes,
sir.
She was following me.
Okay, out of the blue, or do you
following
know
me.
why? Had you just left the house, or had
I
you
just
been at the
left the
girl's house?
I was on the highway, Your Honor.
You're not convincing me that
I
she
was
was
on the
following
highway
you.
and she was following me.
You don't know why or where she had come from, or?
I don't know what her problem is.
Okay, good enough. Do you know what his problem is?
I don't even know about being. I didn't
All
damage
right,
his
so nobody
whatever you're
knows
talking
what's
about.
wrong with each other. So nobody
No.
so far is winning. Tell me about this. How do you know she did this?
I
Do you
don't
have
have-
any other evidence?
the-
Or do you want to just give me a little bit at a time like
have
you've
a
been
note.
doing and telling me to figure it out?
After
which
the-
I'm not.
Okay, after-
I'm just going to say case dismissed because I can't figure it out. Sir?
After the order of protection, the one that I filed, she left a note on my car
Saying what?
saying you're in the mall, get your kids some school clothes. So how did you know I was at the mall? Like you left.
What date was that?
This was May.
But the damage you're suing for is when? Occurred when?
That was in September.
Right, so that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
How do you know that in September she damaged your car? What you're suing about today?
I don't nobody know where I stay at but her. I don't have no problems.
No one in the world knows where you live but her. What?
What I'm saying is I don't have any other problems with any other females. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, it could be guys. Could be guys who you're messing with their females.
Okay, I also
That's exactly.
yeah.
what
also
it
have a
is.
witness statement too
All right, who was the witness?
from a coworker that worked with her sister.
Who was a coworker?
Worked with her sister.
Yeah.
Oh, one of the girls I caught him cheating with. Exactly.
No.
That's who it's from. That was
All
my
right,
sister.
and so did you go to the police about this?
Yes. I have
What'd
the
they
police
do?
report too.
What have they said? Are they
said-
investigating? What are they
They
doing?
said they can't do anything because I didn't physically see her do it.
They didn't believe your
Right.
witness statement?
No, I just got that recently.
Oh, this little three-sentence typing. Well,
Yeah,
I don't
she
know
just
who
got that
typed it.
recently.
Doesn't even have the person's name.
Yeah. I have it.
Curtis doesn't even have a person's name on it. Your counterclaim for child support and a bank fee. How does he
Yes.
owe you?
And when we was going through our divorce, we had an opting out agreement. So we both agreed that he'll pay me cash directly, $85 a week, and I have not received one payment. And then our bank, that it was my bank account, but we both used it.
You all haven't been to child support services to establish a particular amount? The divorce decree didn't say how much he should pay in child
It does
support?
say $85 a week.
Okay, you said we came to an
Oh,
agreement.
no, the divorce decree says $85
Because those are two different things. You all came to an agreement and the court said pay this. So those are two different things because you all's personal agreement would not be enforceable. You can't cut a deal about your baby. Court doesn't allow that. So it's up to the court to determine who pays what. And they've determined that it would be $85 a week. And when did they determine that?
When we was divorced, we both signed off on it and his lawyer.
Let's see it, please. Your divorce decree.
This is
and it was $85 and
Yes,
you
this
say
is the
he's
child
paid how
support.
much?
And then nothing at all.
Okay.
Oops, sorry.
And what do you say to following him and bumping his car on the earlier occasion? Because
never
that
followed-
sounds like a pattern that you were engaged in. You went to the house talking about you wanted to talk to him about money.
I
So you
did.
certainly didn't go there talking soft.
I know,
You-
I did. I knocked on the door. I did
Yeah.
ask
Why
him-
did
I
the
didn't know
judge
he-
grant a protection order against you?
I don't know. We had got
Okay,
it
did you
both
go to
ways.
court to hear
Well,
it?
you automatically go to
Did
court
you
and
go
ask
for the hearing?
we're still going to court for that.
You haven't had your hearing yet
No.
on the temporary restraining order?
Yes, we did.
We're still going back and forth for that.
No, that's a year stay away. What is it talking?
Temporary order
Better
of
read your
protection.
paperwork when it
Yeah,
comes
you're not
to
going back and forth. I
Yes,
got
we do
news
go-
for you. You're not. You
I
have an
also
order
have
of
a-
protection
There is an order of
against you.
protection, but we're going
And
to
if
court
you
for
show
whatever-
up anytime before May of 2018,
I
you're
show-
going to jail. That's what it says.
When I went there,
That's
I
what it
was in
says. So I
April.
believe you
Also,
now.
No, when
Let's
I
see
went
it.
there-
Yeah. Now
When
you're
I
yelling
knocked
at
on
at me.
door
Now you're hollering and yelling at me like you do him. I'm not him. I'll lock you up. You holler and yell at me. I ain't gonna give you no protection order. I'm gonna give you some time. All right, sir. What about this child support? She says that you were ordered to pay $85 a month and you've paid $0.
She violated the visitation right, so I felt like I didn't have to pay. You keeping my daughter away from me because I have a girlfriend.
And why didn't you go back to court on it?
We never went to court for the child support. We don't go to court till the end of this month. She just filed the paper.
The court never established what you should pay? She said it did.
No.
The lawyer did. His lawyer typed that up.
You giving what up? You giving it to me?
We both signed it. Yes, it's signed at the end.
You never signed an agreement with an attorney?
I never signed an agreement with child support.
That's not the right paper. Sign the back page.
The agreement he signed did not involve child support?
It does. It says it right there.
He says it doesn't, and I can't read 30 pages. So you pick out those 30. You read it. You read it, 85.
It says this husband should pay the wife as, it's right here highlighted.
Thanks.
Hold on. And I'm gonna show him his signature on the back. Right here, it's signed. I'm signed. He's signed, and I signed, and it's dated right there.
Okay.
And it's signed by the judge. This is a divorce decree. Thus, the husband shall pay the wife, and as for child support, the sum of $4,000 per year, weekly $84.14. You don't remember this, or you can't read?
Yes, but what I'm saying is...
Why did you say you don't remember it? You say you didn't sign anything. You say you wasn't ordered to pay anything.
No, what I'm saying...
Do you remember telling me that?
Yeah.
All right, so either you can't read or you're lying.
Yeah.
All right, so I think you can read. I just think you're lying.
No,
so your claim is dismissed for lying. And yours is granted based on what is said here regarding child support. Have a good day.
Thank you, baby daddy. Now you can get your... Oh, sorry. Now you can get your daughter. Just stop lying so much.
I'm gonna get her.
Thank you. What?
You're still gonna keep her from me?
No, I'm not. Just don't lie. Don't lie. And we won't be going through this. I would never keep your daughter from you. Never. Because you shouldn't have lied. We were still sleeping together, and you lied and had my baby around a whole nother girl. Don't confuse me. I don't want my child confused.
How's she gonna be confused? She know who her mother is.
Because she see her mother and father still being around. What do you mean? That's, I don't know. I just hope he step up and do what he gotta do for his daughter. That's it. Nothing.
She taking me to child support courts at the end of the month, so that was just an agreement through the divorce. I don't feel like I had to pay that at the end of the day. She violated the order, so I feel like I had to pay.
Plaintiff Latika Williams says she and the defendant became neighbors 2 years ago, and they eventually became friends. Latika claims after a falling out with the defendant's ex, she started distancing herself from the defendant. And in retaliation, the defendant vandalized her car. She's suing for the car repairs. Defendant Diamond Robinson says she and Latika were inseparable until this incident. Diamond claims on the night in question, she and Latika got into a physical altercation. And during the fight, Latika broke her cell phone. So she's countersuing.
Start with you.
2 years ago, me and Diamond became neighbors. On June 12th, me and defendant started getting into some discrepancies due to the fact that her baby father and
I knew it was coming. I knew it. I was going to guess that in the beginning. Go ahead.
Her baby father and her used to get into a little differences, and by me living next door, it was so close. So on the 12th, she ended up having a party for her daughter, and at the party, her daughter's dad,
of her child.
Came to the party a little bit turned up, a little bit intoxicated, and it just went left from there. It was cake thrown, ice cream thrown, and people was getting choked out and slammed out.
You weren't there, though.
No.
You next door being nosy.
I was there.
She was in the window.
I was in the party.
Oh, you were at the party.
I was at Chuck E. Cheese, because this is my friend.
Right. So how'd that turn out?
It just went left because he just started getting obnoxious.
How did it
kicking
end?
him out the party, and later on that day, me and him ended up having some words because he ended up coming to my house, knocking on my door.
For what?
Asking me, could I call Diamond? And I'm like, I don't want to get in y'all business. You know, like whatever you and Diamond got going on, that's you and her. Even though we live next door to each other, like that's why I don't even deal with neighbors like that, because it's so much that her stuff become my stuff. So this is where it all turned left. That I told him, no, I was not calling her, and he can just get off my front step, you know, because he was still drunk. Long story short, he ended up leaving. Later on that night, around like midnight, she calls me and say, can you go outside and check on the cars? And I'm like, why? She said, because my baby father went out there and vandalized the cars.
Let her give some background, and then we'll get back to the cars. Ma'am?
Okay, like she said, we've been neighbors for 2 years, and it started off a little rough, but we came very close. Mm-hmm. We would be together literally every day. Our kids played together, things like that. And at Chuck E. Cheese, he did come intoxicated. He was throwing the cake, and
What he started all that for?
Well, because he was drunk. He was going through his little
personal stuff.
Yeah, he had he was about to have to do some jail time.
Okay.
So, you know, he was.
And he came to her house?
Yeah,
to
he
your
came
knowledge?
to my house. He was banging at my door. I was upstairs studying. When I came downstairs, I seen her. She was on her porch, and she was like, I was like, what? She was like, girl, your baby dad done came over here cussing me out, and I had to cuss him out. Said that he was going to do this, that, and the third. We went back in the house and went.
He said he actually
You went back to your separate house?
Back to our separate houses. I heard my car alarm go off. I called her, I said, go outside because the lights are flashing on my car. She was like, girl, he done bust out me in your window.
All right, let me hear from her now about the car stuff. You were trying to tell me that he had threatened to...
Light it up means like he was going to shoot the house
up. All right,
up.
got it.
And like he was very angry. I don't care what issues he had going on with her. That never had issue. That was supposed to be no issues towards me. So after that incident happened on the 12th at the daughter's birthday party, I kind of like was like skeptical of the whole situation, like with trying to be so close in their situation and being over there all the time, because it seemed like her mess was coming to my household. And it just was becoming so much. So I wrote a stat on the 24th on Facebook, stated that I'm going to fall back from people because people are phony and fake, and I'm going to just keep to myself. So when I said that stat, Diamond ended up writing me on Facebook Messenger, like, oh, I never been fake to you, never been phony, and if you talking about me, da-da-da-da.
You have it?
Yeah, I
Folks,
got it.
let me see it.
Okay.
Folks getting more incidents and fights and getting sued and all type of stuff over social media.
And then as...
People don't know who you're talking about.
Well, I feel like she felt like it was about her because she knew how she was towards me, you know, and the things that she were doing, and like the extra stuff with her baby father coming to the house, and then like
you
the
have the
kids
Facebook post. All this is the messages.
Yes.
Defendant to
the
plaintiff.
Facebook post?
Call me because I'm trying to figure out about the corny S on Facebook. Not about to be walking around fronting on me because dimes ain't never been fake facts to you. And anything I ever said or would say, please believe. I'ma tell it to you. In
All because
fact
I wrote
of
a
life,
state.
you acting just like the rest of these silly H's.
Yeah, just too much. And then it just started off
The
when she
ones
told
you
me to come
think
outside.
real will be the fakest. I'm not with all that.
That's it. That's all I said.
That's all you put?
I swear. But it was just
That's
not...
all she put?
Both of those, yeah. But
That's all I put.
Just too
But
much
prior
been
to
going
that-
on.
Too much.
Lately, I'm gonna just fall back. What did she do to you? What do you interpret
Well,
this having done to
because-
you for you to say all this craziness?
Exactly.
the day before that, she was having a relation with my brother. He got mad at me. I ran down on him. He told her that I was talking about her.
What she
He
was.
said, I did say that she was a East Side.
For no reason, because she got her own angers.
No,
and her
it wasn't
issues
about angry.
within him and her, and it come to me
This is pitiful, ma'am. You do all this from this little comment.
from that
How
little...
old are y'all?
I'm 30, and she's 26.
Too grown for this nonsense.
I know I am. I really am. And I already didn't write no stat about her. It was just my own
I agree.
personal
This
stuff.
is harmless,
Yeah.
quite frankly. This
was
is
just stuff that was
harmless.
going
Nobody
on in
has
my life.
any idea who you are talking about.
I know because we just had an
She felt guilty.
altercation.
Go ahead, ma'am. What are the car repairs? Let's get to that.
Okay, so on the 24th,
Where I
the
was trying
same
to
day that I
defend
wrote
her.
that stat, I ended up getting the messages from her. Then she told me in the letter on Facebook Messenger, was like, I want to talk to you because I feel like I'm not phony, I'm not fake. I'm like, I don't want to talk. Like, let me go to my little nephew birthday party. And when I get back, we can have a conversation. I want to talk now. I said, no. Then she was like, come outside. I'm outside.
No, she said, I'll come to
oh,
you.
Come outside. I said, oh, catch me outside, right? That's how you feel? I said, that's what we getting to? So I goes to the door. Sure enough, guess who's outside? Diamond Robinson, all aggressive, angry, mad, getting ready to fight me for no reason. I'm like, because I write a stat on Facebook, and it was the first day that I wrote it. We didn't even let a day or two go by without her getting
so what happens with the car stuff?
And then after we had ended up getting into an altercation, we had a physical fight. My mom, everybody was there. They ended up breaking it up. They broke the fight up. I thought we was just gonna get into a scuffle. I go to my little nephew party. As soon as I get back from the party, they said Diamond Robinson goes inside of the garage and mess up your car.
Who told you that?
This is what my boyfriend said. He was in the house. So I'm like, no, she didn't. He was like, yeah. So when you get back to the house, I don't want you to do no more fighting, no nothing like that.
And then what?
I called the police. As I talked to the police officer, they were there. They said that I could press charges against her or I could take her to small claim court. I didn't want to press charges on her because I know she got her stuff going on.
So that's why you brought it
So
here?
I brought her to court.
All right.
So
what evidence do we have that she did it?
I have eyewitnesses that she did it, and she stated to me and everybody
Let's see. What did she do? What all was it?
She busted out my windows, scratched my car, popped my tire.
I didn't bust out her windows. My baby father
just
did
scraped
that.
up the whole
car been off the road.
Tell me what happened, ma'am. You tell me what happened.
Well, like she said, we was writing on Messenger. My baby father bust out the windows. That's correct. We got
I'll get the tires, you get the windows.
We got into, that's hollow. Yeah. We was writing on Messenger, and she said,
teamwork made the dream
I'm going to my nephew's party in a minute, so I'll come to you. I said, I'm about to come outside. I said, I'm outside. She was like, okay. She said, okay, and then she come out. We go on that, I'm like, she was all hostile from.
What damage did she cause to your property, ma'am?
She took my phone after the fight. They broke it up. She took my phone, my iPhone, slammed it on the ground.
No, actually, you brought
and
the
your
phone
phone
out.
cost $1,000?
$1,000 iPhone 7.
You have that?
Yes.
The receipt for it?
She came out with the
Tell
phone.
me what happened with her phone, ma'am.
She came out with the phone after she was messaging me,
And then
told me
what?
to come out.
And then what?
We fought, it tussled. The phone hit the ground as we were fighting. Yes, it was, in her hand.
You say what happened? You say she threw it?
How did I get it?
How did she get it?
In her hand.
It was on my porch.
How did she get it in her hand? She intentionally went over
She
and got
went
it?
on my- yes,
and
she
you laid
did.
it on the porch?
No, it was in her hand.
It was a chair on my porch that I sat it on.
Your Honor, it was
To
in her
fight?
hand. She had
No, I wasn't gonna fight her.
Why did you set it on
That's why I brought my-
Why
I
did you
wasn't-
set it on the chair then?
I sat it on the chair because we were talking.
Oh, so you set it on the chair to talk?
Yeah.
No, she
You
never
have to
come
put your
talk.
phone down when you talk?
No,
Have a
but
good
it's
day.
not-
Yours is dismissed. Yours is granted.
Thank you, Lord Jesus.
Girl, you was a big liar.
You was a liar. You
No,
together.
well.
You and your people just my stuff for no reason.
Shut the
No, you stop it.
This girl is a joke and a liar, just like her boyfriend calls her.
She is a liar herself.
She mad at me. Her nigga
Her and her
dogs
man
her.
always got some issues with me, and I
Her
don't want to be a
nigga
part of
dogs
it.
her.
They both teamwork my
To her
car.
face.
They both vandalized my car, and she knows it. I've been nothing but good to you, and that's what you
And what I've been to you?
like everything I did for you.
Plaintiff Trejae Mitchell is a Black Lives Matter activist with a big social media following. And she says the defendant reached out to her on social media and wanted to date her. Trejae claims the defendant was not her type, but they remained friends. And she's suing him today for a bail bond and personal property. Defendant Philip Chauncey admits that he was attracted to Trejae when they first met and says he offered to help her move some property out of state. Philip claims while on the trip he told Trejae that she could not drive his car over 85 miles an hour, but she disregarded that directive. And as a result, his car caught on fire. He's suing for the car and emotional distress.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Okay, I'm a Black Lives Matter activist, so I have a big social media following. And so...
Where are you based?
In Houston, Texas. Yes, and so Chauncey is in Houston as well, and he saw me and started contacting me via social media, trying to take me out on dates, trying to hang out, different stuff like that.
What have you all done? What type of work have you done?
I started an organization called Out of the Flames.
That's associated with Black Lives Matter?
Yes, with the movement, not the entity itself.
Right.
But we do Know Your Rights training. We also did a protest, one of the biggest in Houston, Texas. We just promote buying black and things like that.
Okay.
And so...
Because I guess I wanted viewers to know what all Black Lives Matter does. Is it just police protesting, which is a valid reason to protest, police misconduct, or do you do more? You were saying that you all work in your community. I'm sure people want to know what you're doing for your own community and not just protesting what other communities do to us or do to you. I mean, that's valid. Protest what's being done. But then on the other hand, what are we doing for ourselves? And so you do what again? You all?
We promote buying black. We do Know Your Rights training, self-defense training. When Hurricane Harvey hit in Houston, the organization that I work with, as well as National Black United Front, was out there in the streets helping people.
Good. That's what folks want to hear.
Exactly.
That's what folks want to hear. Yeah, Black Lives Matter gets a bad rep a lot of times from some folks. And so we want to hear some of the things there. And by the way, Buy Black campaigns are primarily to try and get employment in the black community. Meaning if you buy in your community, then the profits go up, the business expands, they're able to hire more people in your community. So I think that's a good thing. White folks should want us to do that too.
Exactly.
So that we can get jobs.
Not sell drugs.
And right, all the other stereotypes that exist. If we buy from each other in our own communities, then you'll be able to hire each other in our own communities. And I think everybody wants to see that happen.
Exactly.
So good. That's another service you're doing. All right. What about you? You give me some background on what you do.
I'm a chemical plant safety attendant.
Okay.
I'm a father of 2 boys. Single one just turned 18. He's on his way to college. My 17-year-old just made the basketball team. I don't know the defendant as far as
But let's get to Houston, though. Did you help out like she says she did?
Oh, as far as...
she said you did as well, hurricane relief.
Oh, yes. It was under a different organization.
However
Yes, sir.
you did it. You did it?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Oh,
sir.
Lord have mercy.
Yes, sir.
Time to help you here, man.
Not a problem.
He didn't.
He didn't?
No.
Yeah, he's serious stumbling
He was in
a
girls'
lot.
inboxes being thirsty. He wasn't doing no helping.
He showed up. Leave him alone. He showed up. At least he showed up. Whether it was to look at the girls or whatever it is, he showed up.
He helped.
He wasn't there just to look at the girls, were you, sir?
Your Honor, our association has nothing to do with her movement, although it is honorable.
I know all that. I'm asking you about what you did to help your community when it had the biggest catastrophe in the history of the city.
Oh.
That's what I'm asking. And you act like, what? Who? Help? Huh?
No, I just wanted to
I
draw...
ain't involved with them. What?
Yeah, that's pretty much... I just wanted to draw a line. I helped, just not with her.
Yeah, something. I just don't know what it was. I stood around and looked at the girls or whatever. All right. Go ahead and tell me more about you and him.
So, like I said, he contacted me on social media. He was in my inbox trying to take me out on dates, trying to come see me, all kinds of stuff. Sometimes he would say real adult stuff, and I was just, he's not that attractive. He kind of lame, so I wasn't interested. But
you.
Exactly. And so I'm a friendly person, so I was friends with him. I talked to him a little bit. We talked on Messenger, and his Messenger name was like the Great Monster. And so I'm like, what is the Great Monster? And he was like, oh,
he's a killer with the women, doctor. He's a killer. He's a monster.
That's pretty much what he said.
And she chose to talk to that great monster too.
No, I was just being friendly. Like I said, Black Lives Matter. I just wanted him to have a friend. He seemed like he ain't had
It wasn't
nobody.
the life that mattered at that point, Your Honor. She wasn't concerned with the black lives that mattered.
That wasn't part of that scenario.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I'm out of his league. I wasn't trying to date him.
So what'd you do when he told you he was a monster?
You started drooling.
I exited stage left and was like, no, thank you.
You give me some background, sir, on your friendship or association with the plaintiff.
Well, Your Honor, I had met her on a social media, as she said. It wasn't, although I did find her very attractive and did see potential that we might be able to make something happen, it was initially because she needed help. The case was she needed to travel to Atlanta, drop off some puppies, and take care of some other stuff, remove some stuff from storage, and come back. That's why I responded. I figured it was a win-win. She was paying. She was pretty.
What was the agreement to pay you?
The agreement was $300 for the there and back.
Okay. How many hours?
Travel was 16 hours.
16 hours
That was
for
there
300.
That was there and
That's
back.
good, but I guess part of your motivation, you got 16 straight hours.
Your Honor,
you couldn't work nothing in 16 hours, man. My goodness, man.
Your Honor, you will find
16 straight hours?
But between that time, it wasn't a matter of what I couldn't work out. It's a matter of what I discovered. Like hour 8, it really wasn't even worth it and invested emotionally. So at that point, we just stuck to what the business was.
Go ahead.
I was always about the business. And like he said, I posted saying that I needed help to get my stuff out of storage and back to Houston. And so he came and picked me up, drove me to Atlanta. We picked up my stuff out of storage. He tied some stuff to the top, and while we were driving, something fell off the top, all on the highway. And so I got out. We got out to pick up the stuff, and the police came to find out what was going on. So I continued picking up the stuff, and I look up, and he in handcuffs, getting put in the back of the car. So I run over there, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "It's a misunderstanding. Just call my mama." And so they're like, "Ma'am, he doesn't have a license. His license is suspended. He's going to jail.
Who said that? The police told you that?
Exactly. And so they're like, move this stuff, get out of the road. And so I immediately did that, moved the stuff. I drove to the nearest bail bond place. I called his mom. She agreed to pay, and I went ahead and co-signed on the bail. I went and got him out of jail. We get back on the road to go back to Texas. He's getting sleepy. He tells me to drive, so I start driving. So I'm driving for a couple hours, and then I notice smoke coming from the car.
It was not a couple of hours.
And so I woke him up, and I'm like, there's smoke coming from the car. And so he tells me, oh, well, it's got a small oil leak. Maybe I need to put some oil in it, just pull over. So we pull over. He goes to look at it, and he runs to my door and opens it, and it's like, the car is on fire. So we both get out, and we run down the side of the highway. The car completely goes up in flames. All my stuff is like falling off, and the fire truck pulls up, and they literally just filled the whole car with water. So everything that wasn't burned up now is water damage. All my stuff is in the middle of the highway, and then they just drive off. They don't ask us if we need help or nothing. So we on the side of the road with a burned out car. Then it starts raining, so I don't know what to do. So I'm calling everybody.
Hey, they must have seen the sign in there say Black Lives Matter. Oh, okay, yeah. Let them come get you.
I didn't know what to do.
They said, let them come get you then.
But we on the side of the road in the rain. He's talking about, you ever made love in the rain? I'm like, I'm trying to get home. So I called AAA, and AAA comes, and they pick us both up. They take the car. We all go back to the house. And so I'm like, do you need a ride to the house or something? And he's like, I mean, yeah, that's cool, but you gonna be my girlfriend? No, I'm gonna give you a ride home. That's it. And so I take him home, and I'm thinking I'm done with him forever. But in January 2017, I get a bill in the mail saying that I owe a bail bondsman $1,400. So I call him, and I'm like, they're saying that you owe $1,400. And he was like, oh, well, don't worry about it. I'm going to pay that. And I'm like, okay,
that's
good.
Correct,
and that's the end of it.
Okay, let me hear from you now. Tell me about
it. I hope I'm as entertaining, but I'll actually stick to the facts. The fact was, before we departed, I informed the...
no, you did
Quiet,
not.
man.
I didn't inform her.
You said what?
I informed her that there was an oil leak. If she had any
Why would I
issues
pay
with-
somebody with an oil leak?
I informed her that there was an oil leak. If there was any issues in regards to that, if she felt unsafe, that we could just part ways. Before we departed, I had purchased several bottles of oil that I had put in the back of the car, hence why most of the stuff...
What did she do wrong?
What did she do wrong?
Yes.
Okay, what I informed her was that the car could not go over a certain speed limit. So,
what limit was that?
85 miles an hour.
Okay.
Okay, so on the way back, the return, I had already been in jail. We had already picked up the stuff. This is right before the car catches fire. And I had drove by myself the way that it's supposed to from Houston to Atlanta, around Atlanta, and then back 200 miles away from the Texas border. She only had about an hour and a half worth of driving left. So when the truck caught fire, she was only behind the wheel for no more than 20 minutes.
Do you notice she went over 85?
Oh, yes, sir, I do.
How?
Because I had peaked as the engine started revving up too high. She thought that I was asleep when she nudged me and said,
What'd you say?
I informed her that, do not push the truck. I know you're trying to make it to work, but there's no way that we're going to be able to make it from Atlanta to Houston in 5 hours. She said, okay, that she would comply, but what she said and what she did was two different things, Your Honor.
Okay.
So ultimately...
When she didn't comply, what did you say then?
Oh, by that time, she had let me know that the car was making a funny noise and it smelled funny. I asked her to pull over. So
when you first noticed she was going 85, you said you peeked over there and that you could also hear.
Yes, sir.
So when you told her, hey, don't go over 85, and you could also hear it, she kept going over 85?
Yes, sir.
And you didn't say to her, can't you hear the damage that's being done? You better stop going over 85 before you damage my car.
I informed her that she is pushing my automobile and that she would not be able to make it to work on time.
No, you heard it.
Yes, I did.
What didn't you say? I hear, not. I informed her that you are pushing the automobile a little too far.
I wasn't that aggressive,
and you hear your car being destroyed, and that's all you have to say. You're pushing it a little too far here.
I wasn't that aggressive.
This is the right way to approach things.
And that's pretty much how I handle this.
Perhaps you might want to slow down, but it's up to you. If you prefer not, no problem. And you're listening to the car go clank, 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 clank. That's what it does when the engine is going. And so the car burned up,
yes,
and
sir.
you think it was because she was going too fast?
Absolutely.
For how long?
Less than a half an hour.
How has she caused you emotional distress?
The reason why we were pulled over was because the boxes fell off at the top of the truck. Now, she failed to inform you that she re-secured boxes that I had already secured. She was uncomfortable about the way that I had put things on top of the truck.
Did you do that?
No, I'm 5'4". I couldn't reach the top of the truck.
Because my truck doesn't have ladders and she can't climb up there. Okay, but I digress. She re-secures the boxes. As we're driving, it took less than 5 minutes for these things to fall off of the truck. Had she not re-secured the boxes, had she left them how they were, we would have never gotten stopped because the boxes would have never fallen off of the truck. What she doesn't know is that in the state of Atlanta, you don't need a license to operate a vehicle if you're not a resident, which I wasn't. I'm a resident of Texas. I do have a suspension in Denver, Colorado, which I am no longer a resident. So I was never supposed to go to jail in the first place. The box fell off of my truck.
You were arrested for not having a license or for driving with a delinquent license?
For driving with a delinquent license.
Right. And your defense, as I just heard, is what she doesn't know is that Georgia doesn't require you to have a license if you live in a different state.
Correct.
But it does require you to drive legally in whatever state you're in. And you were driving illegally with a delinquent license.
In Colorado.
Right. So anywhere you go, you're still delinquent, sir. Judgment for the plaintiff. Everything that happened after you began your illegal act of driving in violation of the law. You broke the law. Judgment for the plaintiff. Yours is dismissed. You can't break the law and win.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Ridiculous. And I'm still not going to be your girlfriend just because you lost.
Don't do me any favor, sweetie.
I'm not. I promise that. He's irrelevant. He's a non-factor. He lost. I told him, like, you can't drive illegally and do illegal stuff and think that somebody's going to have to pay you for that.
If that was the case, she wouldn't have went on the journey in the first place.
Why would I drive?
I'm glad it's over.
I did not know he had an oil leak. His car was raggedy.
My life over. Only one of us is excited about this.
Like I said, non-factor.
I'm much better now.
Black Lives Matter.
I wish her the best.
Plaintiff Antoinette Bunn says she gave birth to the defendant when she was 16, and they grew up together. Antoinette admits that she was strict, and the two physically fought from time to time. But she's suing because she claims her daughter took her rental car and wrecked it. Defendant Brianna Bunn admits that her mother was strict, but says she appreciates it now because it has made her a better parent. Brianna insists the car accident was not her fault.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Well, first I want to say it's an honor to be here. My dad loves you. He wanted me to give him a shout out, Leroy Bunn.
What's his name?
Leroy Bunn.
Mr. Bunn, thank
Mr.
you
Bunn.
for watching.
Pops. Okay, well, Judge, this is my daughter, Brianna.
He might be. I don't know my father.
I'm sorry, what was that?
You say he's my pops.
We call him Pops.
Oh, y'all call him pops. Okay, I
Yeah, we call him
he
Pops.
might very well be. All right. Go ahead. You're my sister. All right. So give me some background on you.
Okay. Well, this is my oldest child. This is my daughter, Brianna. I had her when I was 16. I was a teen mom. So I tried everything to prevent her from going in the same cycle of becoming a teen mom as well. We basically grew up together. We grew up together. We had our ups and downs like mothers and daughters usually have. And I was very strict with her.
Like what?
Well, we fought physically.
But you say
verbally.
most. You felt that to be the case? Was your mom in your life when you grew up?
Yeah, my mom was in my
You
life.
all didn't get along at some point?
You know, being a teenage girl, you feel like the whole world is against you.
Okay.
You know, you feel like you're right and everybody else is wrong. I just know that because of my own experience, and I tried to kind of put myself in her shoes as I was raised.
I hear that from time to time, but my daughter Kamara and her mother, my wife Linda, nor me, not one time has she ever been disrespectful as a child or did anything wrong that we knew of. There's a funny thing, no, we just didn't know of. That's the point. I was at her wedding when I spoke at the reception. I said, well, you know, she's the only child. I have 4 children. I said, she's the only one that never did anything wrong. To my knowledge, I say I've never heard or seen anything, an argument, a back talk, nothing, ever.
Right.
Never been in trouble. My sons whispered because they were standing there with me. Yeah, you just didn't catch her. So that's good. I did remember the one time she was over, and I think I may have said this before, she was over in your homeland.
Yeah, right.
She was over in Ireland. You know, don't do nothing but drink over there, just kidding. A lot of pubs. There's a lot of drinking in Ireland. So she called home one night, talking to my wife, Linda. Hey, you having a good time over there? I said, yeah, let me speak to her. I'm speaking. I'm listening. I say, she sound a little different. I said, I know drunk when I hear it.
Yeah. So do I.
Kamar, you been drinking? Oh, Dad, get over it. That's the only time.
Yeah.
So I believe my sons, she just never got caught.
Absolutely.
And I told them when they said that, I said, well, I can't help it because you all are not slick enough and stay in trouble. So she was in trouble. But that's natural, as you sound like you're saying, and my daughter was just slick enough to not let us know.
One time.
She got caught?
She got caught one time.
All right.
I was working midnights, and my brother came over to the house to check on her. She was about 15 or 16, check on her and her younger brother, and she had a friend girl spending the night with her. My brother walked in the house and saw a couple of young boys in the house. So he chased them out the back door, and when he called me, I came home from work that morning, and I attempted to discipline her physically. That's all I knew how. And when I attempted to do that, she jet out the back door.
What year was that when you were still, all you knew how was to hit her?
My mom didn't spare the rod at all.
Talking about you. I know your mom may not have. That's the 60s and 70s.
Well, so when did I stop or when did I start?
When did you start?
Well, I started, she was born in 94, so I'm going to assume she was probably about 2 or 3 years old.
You whooping the baby?
Well, you know, you have to learn sometimes.
I hope it was
It
just
wasn't
a thump.
abuse.
It was like a thump.
It wasn't even that bad.
At 2 years old, that's all it better be.
It wasn't even
Have
that
it.
bad. It wasn't
Have
that
it.
bad. It was probably a pop on the butt.
That's what I'm talking
No
about.
type of thing, you know.
But at 15, what'd you do?
I used a belt.
On the butt?
Yeah. Well, if she's running around, you know, wherever the belt lands.
All the house.
But your intent was to use it on the butt.
Absolutely.
All right. All right. I stay out of folks' business who are still spanking on the butt.
Okay.
That's between you all, the police, and the court, or whoever.
Right.
But you said it takes on a life of its own. The
Well-
belt. It just starts going everywhere. Is that what happens with her?
Yes,
You
sir.
give me some background on your relationship with your mom.
She was a little strict on me, you know. She was more strict on me than she was with my younger brother. But I feel like it helped me be a better parent to my daughter and my unborn child so far. So, you know.
How old
I
is your
appreciate
daughter?
that. She's 1.
1?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she could be a handful. So
You're not. Are you?
no, just know and, you know, trying to get her to understand that when mommy talks, mommy means business, you know. So
All right.
that's it.
How old were you when you had your first child? What? The child was only
I was
one. What's her
25.
name?
Riley.
Riley?
Yes.
All right, so Riley's only 1 now.
Yes.
So, okay. And you weren't too young. You were how old?
25.
Last year? 25? Mm-hmm. Okay. Did mama have a problem with you having a child at 25?
No, she was excited.
I'm actually pushing her.
Appropriate age, as long as you can take care of that child.
Oh,
and
yes,
the father
sir.
can take care of that child.
Yes, sir.
All right, good. Why are you suing her? What you want to tell me with the car damages?
Well, 4th of July weekend, we live in Michigan. We were traveling to Rockford, Illinois for festivities. We got there, me, Brianna, Riley's dad. We all made it there. I'm hanging out with family members my age and my age group. You know, we're socializing, probably having a few drinks here and there. And I think Brianna wanted to go and hang out with cousins and friends and family members of her own age group. We were too old for her. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, hey, when you come back, stop at the liquor store, bring me something back.
Come back from
Socializing.
Got it. From going her way with her friends or cousins.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So 10 minutes later, about 10 to 15 minutes later, I get a phone call. The car was in a wreck, in an accident. My first instincts was to make sure she and my unborn grandchild was okay. They were eventually rushed to the emergency room. They were fine, but the car rental was damaged. I couldn't drive it back to Michigan. She didn't have permission to drive it.
You just said you told her to go and get
I didn't assume she was leaving in my vehicle. I assumed she was leaving with her other relatives, her friends.
What gave you that assumption?
They were there.
And so were you in your car.
True.
You mama.
That's true.
Mama's telling you to bring me some liquor. You can go, but make sure you bring some Hennessy back. That what you drink?
More like vodka.
Vodka and rum. All right. What type of vodka? Since I've mentioned Hennessy, I don't mention Puffy's drink. You
Ciroc.
drink Ciroc?
I do.
All right, Puff. That's good because he's making them a bunch of money.
Yeah,
So,
he is. I've contributed to that.
Yeah, he used to drink Ciroc. And ma'am, what do you say to this? The car and the damages and what may have occurred? Give me some game. Give me the same game you gave her, and see how that worked.
Well, I let her know that I was leaving and I was going, 1, to the store, and 2, I was leaving with my cousins as well. It's my hometown, so I wanted to go see different family members I haven't seen in a while. And on the way to the liquor store, I was at a light and I got hit at the light.
Stopped?
Yes.
In the back?
In the front. It hit only my side of the car, of the vehicle. The lady went through the red light and hit another car, and both cars slid into me. And
Did you get a police report?
yes, sir.
All right. And did the report say she did anything wrong?
The report did not say she did anything wrong. However, she didn't ask my permission to take the vehicle.
Okay. That's because you assume. One would say the presumption would be that she would take the person's vehicle who's sending her on the errand. Because you didn't make it clear.
Well, Judge, if I may say something?
Yeah.
Now that we are adults, her and I, we have a better understanding and we communicate better. You know, our relationship is a lot better than when she was a child, a teenager. So, Mom, can I use your car? The car that I own, there's always permission being asked. You know, she doesn't even turn the heat on in my house without my permission.
All right, but go ahead, I'll let you finish.
There's just always permission being asked, and we have that solid ground to understand that, you know. So the permission wasn't asked in that case.
When you said, do something for me, baby. Do something for me. She said, I'm going to use your stuff to do something for you because you didn't tell me how to do it. So the most reasonable thing is, okay, Mama, I'll do something for you by getting your car and doing it for you. The only problem is you went somewhere else after that. If you were only going to do something for Mama, then you might have a decent defense as to, she told me to take it and I went to the store and came right back. And on the way back, I got hit. You were only doing something for her. But in this case, you went beyond doing something for her.
Yes.
And whether you got permission or not, you would be liable if you went outside of her expectation of the use of her car. She didn't expect her car to be driven all across town to see everybody you grew up with. She didn't expect that. She expected maybe one stop, I think I heard her say. You were going with your cousins and then stopping, but she didn't expect you to drive all over the country. Why haven't you agreed to pay? You don't believe you owe? That sounds like what you're saying.
Yes.
You do believe you owe or you don't?
I do believe that I owe. You know, I feel like I should, you know, help my mom pay for it because I do feel like I was responsible.
You have any insurance? It's too trifling?
We do have insurance. Well, I did have insurance on the car. My rates are already high in
I know that's what you were about to say.
I don't want to tell my insurance company about that.
I know it is. You have every right not to because you're right. Your rates will go up if you come in there with, how much was the damage? Over 5, obviously.
Yeah, $5,717.
You come in there, yes. You're probably going to pay an extra $100 a month after that. So, yeah, you shouldn't expect her to encounter a $1,200 addition to her, or even if it's $600 per year to her insurance, that she would not have had to pay had you not wrecked her car and had she turned it in. And people have a right to do that. They can either collect their money from the negligent driver, or they can collect it from the insurance company if they file the claim. But the insurance company is going to still come after the person who's liable so that they can be reimbursed the money that they used to fix the car. So I'm going to grant her judgment. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Judgment is yours, $5,000.
Thank you. No, she know I love her.
I love you, though.